throw this mic on you.
Okay, Scott, how you doing? Mic'd up. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl, how are you?
Cheryl
Golf. Hey, very nice to see you guys. You look like you're about to go on air when you're done here.
I am. I know. I walk out like this and my kids go, don't go to work, Mom.
Right,
they know when there's this much
exactly.
paint time, something's happening.
Very nice, very nice. All righty. Okay. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Michael Sandoval, National Review.
Hey, oh yeah, National Review. National Review.
Flight 716.
In our power. Yeah.
Everybody good?
All set? Bye-bye.
Chairman Steele, you talked a little bit about it in there, but all the craziness around our governor's race, and you gave a pretty nice endorsement there to Dan Mays.
Well, look, we're in the business at this stage of the game of putting it all on the line to win. We have our nominee. We know it was a tough primary. We know, what happened since then, and so there's been a lot of noise out there that can be a distraction. Or it could not be a distraction. I prefer that we not be distracted by that noise. Give our nominee a chance to go out and state the case to the people of Colorado, and they make the final decision. Very much as we've seen in elsewhere around the country, in Delaware, Alaska, where the people will decide who they want and who they like best to represent their interests. So right now, this bus tour is about organizing the party at its grassroots, firing them up, letting them know what's at stake, the importance of this election and this campaign. And I know there are a lot of things. I mean, look, you can pick apart everyone's life and find something you don't like, or something that they've done that causes you to pause. But then you have to go to the next question. Does it stop the momentum towards winning, or do we get past that and move forward in trying to win the race? I prefer to move forward and try to win the race.
Do you have any specific message, though, for folks? I mean, they look at the polls, they have a perception that if they want to elect a conservative, that maybe the guy with the best chance to win is Tancredo. Do you have a message for Colorado people who they're registered Republicans and they're sitting here right now thinking long and hard about endorsing and voting for Tancredo?
I believe very strongly and very firmly. Look, Mr. Tancredo and I have known each other a long time. We've been through the wars together. And I understand he made a decision to go a different way, a different course. As a national chairman, I support the nominee, the party, the Republican nominee, and I encourage every Republican in Colorado to stand with that nominee, to make certain that nominee has a chance to win. But again, that boils down to individual decisions and choices, and I don't get to make those. But what I can do is encourage, as I come here today, encourage our Republican base to stand with our nominee and to help our nominee get across the finish line. This is about having a Republican, as governor of the state. And I think that's important from my perspective, just as it's important to have a Republican as the senator of Delaware, with Christine O'Donnell, and in Alaska with Joe Miller. So I know that all the machinations at the party level and all of that is part of the dynamics that is enticing to the press and even some within the party. But I think, as a lot of our friends around the country will tell you, this battle is too big to be centered on the personality or the foibles of one or shortcomings of one person, or deciding, who's less this or who's more that. We've got to stand firm as a party, because we've come a long way when you consider where we've been before getting here.
What about this bus? When you're riding in it and people see need a job, fire Pelosi, what's the reaction?
The horns start honking. Folks got the thumbs up out the window. I forget where, I think we were in Mississippi. We were crossing a bridge. It was there in Louisiana. And we were crossing a bridge, and this car pulled up next to California plates, and the person just rode along the bus the whole time crossing the bridge. That kind of enthusiasm. People are excited. They're excited to see, I think, the party on the street, out there in the community. Is something that I said I thought it was important for us to do, is to get the party out of Washington. The Republican Party is not the committee. It's not the building. It's not what's in D.C. It's what the state party is doing here. It's what our grassroots are doing. It's part of that, that whole expression that we see out there that's in the Tea Party and those who've been talking about our Constitution. That's where we belong. as a national party. And that's where I want us to be, which is why I'm out here.
What is it about her name?
What was that?
What is it about the name Pelosi? What does that conjure up for people?
I think there's a lot. I think it conjures up a sense of entitlement, a sense of arrogance, a sense of tone deafness to the concerns of the people. I mean, we watched the entire play for healthcare on the national stage, and at various points in that during that debate, the people said very clearly what they wanted and what they didn't want, and yet Pelosi in the House, Reid in the Senate, they turned a deaf ear to it. And so the people took note of that. And I think you're going to see their answer, their response this November, when they put in place individuals who are from them, from their communities, who know they have to listen to the people first, not the committee chairman, not the ruminations in Washington, D.C., but pay more attention to the people here at home.
I don't want to get.
Okay, I'll get you on and get my guys from NR.
The question, you're talking about the Fire Pelosi theme, when you took and looking about 50, 60 seats maybe being competitive, there's a question about resource allocation, whether or not all 50 or 60 of those seats, depending on how the races are turning out, will receive the resources they need to win against Democrats.
Well, I've taken the unprecedented step as national chairman, deciding to open up victory offices in February as opposed to August, investing close to well over $20 million going back to last November, December, after the elections last year, in building out these victory centers. We have 343 victory centers around the country, fully staffed and operational. We are competitive in all 50 states. That's the first time the party's ever done that. And for some folks to sit back and complain about the party being competitive, I find that amazing. I think what we need to do is a little less complaining and a little bit more organizing, and a little bit more, putting a little elbow grease into making sure that these candidates, people in Washington don't get to sit in judgment to say who is going to be the nominee and who gets to win and lose. Because if that's the logic, if that's the test, then Christine O'Donnell would not be the nominee in Delaware. And she would not have the support that she has in that state. Joe Miller wouldn't have it in Alaska and elsewhere. So I think, a lot of the folks who tend to think they know more than the people out here about how politics really works need to spend a little less time in D.C. and get on the bus with me and come out and listen to real Americans tell you exactly how they feel about this election, what their expectations are, and why they believe the guy or gal they're supporting is going to win. Why would we as a national party or political pundits or national leaders sap that energy away from them? So we've allocated the resources in a way in which we can be competitive. And I made it very clear, so you guys know this, I'm not doing anything that I didn't say I wasn't going to do. I said from the very beginning, we would invest in races that most people, the professional class in Washington, would look at and scratch their head and go, well, why is he investing in that? Give you a good example. 3 days after we won in Virginia and New Jersey, we sent money up to Massachusetts to invest in the race for Scott Brown. Scott Brown wasn't even the nominee at the time, but we saw something on the ground happening in Massachusetts in that little gap between November and January. We took the risk. I had people in Washington, why are you spending money in Massachusetts? That's Ted Kennedy's seat. Well, the people thought otherwise, and we trusted their instincts and we followed their leadership. And guess what? Scott Brown is now a senator because the Republican National Committee invested in what the state party wanted to do, invested in what that candidate wanted to do, and they won. So do you win every time? No, trust me, I know you don't win every race. But at some point this party's got to start planting the seeds to win and stop courting defeat before they even attempt victory.
One more question, Rachel.
Yep.
Talk about the dynamic with the Tea Party. You mentioned it a few times. Is a win for a Tea Party candidate as much of a win for a Republican as anyone else?
Absolutely. I mean, look, the Tea Party are a manifestation of the frustration and the anxiety and the concern, but also the optimism that people still have in this country. I mean, this idea of we the people matters to them, and they're willing to lose pay on their jobs. Those who work an hourly wage. Boss, I'm going to take a long lunch because I'm going to go to a rally. That kind of enthusiasm, you can't bottle that up. You can't co-opt it. You can't control it. It's organic. It's natural. And I think it's important for this cycle. And I think it's turning a lot of the professional political class on its head in Washington and even around the state capitals for good reason. They've never seen it before. But in most cases, they've forgotten what it looks like and what it sounds like, because they've become so enamored of power and committee chairmanships and all the machinations of government that they forgot that we, the people, still matters, and that we are part of forming this great union around ideals and principles that emanate from ordinary people, not some institution in Washington. So the Tea Party embody that, and they are reflecting, I think, where America needs to go. And this November, they're going to help us get there.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Got to get a ticket.